The wind howled like a grieving mother, sweeping through the trees with icy rage. In the middle of the blizzard, half buried beneath the snow, a woman lay still, her breath shallow, her skin pale. She had no name to the people who had left her there. But someone was coming. A small pair of boots crunched over the frozen earth. A boy, no older than 10, stopped when he saw her. And that single moment would change everything. Her name was Clara. Just 31, but already worn by a life that never gave her a fair chance. She had grown up in foster homes, bouncing from place to place, never truly belonging. Every time she thought she had found a family, something would go wrong. An argument, a lie, a new placement. She learned early how to survive on her own. By the time she was 25, Clara had drifted through towns, worked odd jobs, and kept to herself. She never broke any laws, never asked for much. But people looked at her and saw only someone broken, someone to ignore. Then came the man named Greg. Charming, with a smile that made you believe he was safe. Clara met him in a diner where she was waitressing. He offered her kindness when no one else did. He bought her warm meals, told her stories that made her laugh, and said he saw something special in her. For the first time in years, Clara let herself believe in something good. But what began as kindness turned cold. Slowly, Greg's words changed. His compliments became criticisms. His promises turned to threats. By the time Clara realized she was trapped, she was already isolated. No friends. No phone. Just him. One freezing December night, after weeks of arguments and bruises she could no longer hide, Greg took her in his truck, driving through the backwoods of Montana. He said nothing. Just drove. She asked where they were going. He didn't answer. And then, in the middle of nowhere, he stopped. Told her to get out. When she refused, he dragged her out. Pushed her hard into the snow. Took her coat. Left her with nothing but a thin sweater. You made your choice, he said before slamming the door. Then he was gone. The storm swallowed everything. Snow bit into her skin, and the night closed in like a cage. Clara tried to walk, but every step sank her deeper. She cried out, but no one was there. No one ever was. So she lay down, too weak to move. Eyes closing. Cold seeping into her bones. Miles away, in a small cabin on the edge of the woods, a boy named Eli stared out the window. His mother was gone, passed away just last spring. It was just him and his grandpa now. Eli was quiet, thoughtful. He loved the woods, loved reading, and more than anything, he missed his mother. That night, something stirred in him. He didn't know why. He just knew he had to go outside. I'll stay near, he promised his grandpa, bundling into his coat. The snow was heavy, but Eli walked with purpose. He carried a lantern and his old sled. He followed the sound of the wind, or maybe something deeper. A feeling. Then, in a clearing, he saw her. At first, he thought she was a ghost. Her skin was so pale, her lips blue. But when he knelt beside her, he felt breath, barely. Eli didn't scream. Didn't run. He dropped his lantern, shrugged off his coat, and wrapped it around her. Then, with small hands and stubborn strength, he rolled her onto the sled and began pulling. It took an hour to get back. The storm fought him. But he didn't stop. Not once. His grandpa's eyes widened when he saw them. Get the blankets, Eli shouted. She's still breathing. They worked through the night. Hot soup. Fire. Prayers. Clara drifted in and out, unsure if this was real. When morning came, she opened her eyes fully and saw a boy sitting beside her, holding her hand. You're safe now, he said simply. Over the weeks that followed, Clara recovered in their home. At first, she spoke little. But Eli kept talking. Told her about his mother. About the creek in springtime. About stars and dreams. His grandpa, Mr. Jensen, didn't ask questions. He just gave Clara space, food, and quiet kindness. Eventually, the truth came out. The police found Greg. He was arrested for more than just leaving Clara. There were others he had hurt, too. But what mattered most wasn't justice. It was healing. Clara stayed. Helped around the cabin. Laughed again, for the first time in years. She and Eli became something like family. Not by blood, but by choice. Years passed. Eli grew. Clara found work in town, then became a teacher. Mr. Jensen passed away, but not before saying, "You brought her back for a reason, Eli. You brought her home." At Eli's graduation, Clara stood in the crowd, tears in her eyes. No longer broken. No longer lost. When someone asked Eli what made him go out into the storm that night, he just smiled and said, "I think my mom sent me." And now, every winter, when the snow begins to fall, Clara lights a lantern and places it by the window. In memory of that cold night. In honor of a boy who didn't look away. And as a promise. That no one should ever be left behind.